Hello guys, I'm using my microphones, uh, no, my camera's microphone, and it's probably really poopy. I think, like, when I was trying to listen in on myself, it was bugging out quite a lot, but it's okay. Now, why am I shirtless? I don't know. I just came back from the gym. Well, not just, I did some meal prep and things like that. My life is pretty awesome, guys. I'm gonna be very honest, okay? Now, what does awesomeness mean? Why is my life awesome? Because if you think about it, you could say, "Oh, but you're like 5'5". You're like a midget, bro. Your life, hi Rex. Your life is cooked. It's over for you." I don't believe that. And in reality, the only okay, let me grab Rex quickly because he wants to yap. Rex. There we go. Yeah. Now he's gonna sub out. I'm also sipping on my monster. I don't know if Rex wants some. See, you pick him up, right? You try and cuddle him because he was meowing. And then he leaves, and then he starts meowing again. I feel like this is... Anyway, so back to the topic of awesomeness. If Rex meows, I'm just gonna ignore him from now on. When it comes to awesomeness, what you really need to understand is that... Should I be looking at the camera? Which one is better? You guys, let me know in the comments. Is it better if I'm just looking at my awesome self, or should I be looking directly into the camera like this? Let me know. Anyway, whatever. So, basically, I know that, like, for a lot of people, it's hard to understand that you're awesome. But think of it this way. You're a human being. I'm a human being too. We're all awesome in our own ways. There's obviously blessings that maybe you will perceive some people have over you, but then we can tie that back to some of the sins that we know of. And, fucking religious, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just tying this down because you can't deny it. A human being is a very unique creature. You have feelings, you have emotions, you have this spirituality about you. You have a soul, right? I feel like that's something you can't really argue. We're way too unique for that to not be the case. You need to understand your own spirituality and kind of unlock this way of thinking. Because we all have these behaviorisms, I believe. I just like to generically apply this to everything, which might not be the best thing to do, but that's what I do for myself. So, for example, envy. That's a sin. I never really experienced it as a human being because I never really cared about what other people have. Even if I grew up poor and my friend or someone else had more money, they had cooler clothes than me and whatnot, I really couldn't give a fuck. Like, I didn't care about that stuff. And the same is for... I mean, pride, I think we all struggle with. Pride is like basically putting yourself in a pedestal. It's kind of like comparing in a different way as well. It's kind of similar to envy. But if you become less of an envious person and you become less prideful as a person, I feel like you'll understand that a lot of the things you worry about don't really matter. That basically, you get to live this life and you can be grateful for it, or you can just look at all the things you don't have. I can look at the fact that I don't have my dream job, that my career hasn't really taken off. I graduated and I had been looking for a job for a very long time, did some interviews, nothing happened out of it. I just wanted to get into the game design industry, have a job. Obviously now that's not the case. My perspective has changed on that a lot as well. I don't really like the work industry that we have nowadays. I feel like it's very, depressing. But that's a whole nother topic. Back on awesomeness. So, if you want to be awesome, you need to understand a few key things. If you are truly awesome, everyone else is also awesome in their own way. And you're awesome in your own unique way, like vice versa, same for the people around you. So that also helps you appreciate other people around you in ways that maybe you couldn't have done that before. You can like see more positives in them. And once you start projecting this like positiveness onto other people, it kind of just bounces back to you. Like you're able to be like, wait a second, all these people are awesome. I'm awesome as well. We're all awesome. And then you just start grateful maxing. I mean, I did journal for this to like kind of, you know, get it into my mind a bit better. You know, like how you think when you're a teenager, and this is a very funny feeling. Maybe my frontal lobe hadn't fully developed yet, and that's why I was thinking that way. But you kind of victimize yourself, right? So let's say, you know, even as a teenager, then that basically just gets transformed into a different thing when you're older. So if I, for example, was a teenager, then I would obviously project onto my parents. So I'd be like, my mom and dad don't understand me. I hate them. Kind of thing. You know, like this kind of anger and victimhood of yourself that like your parents are supposed to be like these magical beings that can perfectly fucking understand you, even though they're just human as well. You know what I mean? And then when you become an adult, you'll probably transfer that onto other things. Like I remember I did it in my workplace. You know, I was basically victimizing myself, thinking I was getting the short straw and everyone else was like having the best. And I was the one slaving away, having it the worst. And they were just, you know, chilling, living life like kings and queens. I don't do that anymore. It's, first of all, even if that's the case to some extent, it doesn't help you internally to keep projecting that kind of way of thinking into your own like energy and spirituality, okay? You just need to... Hi, Rex. You just... Oh, he jumped on his thing. He likes sitting by the window. He keeps interrupting my flow of speaking. Apologies, guys. Is your dopamine receptors still keeping up with what I'm saying? Hopefully they are. Because my goal and intention with this awesome channel, and you know, I've been posting on social media as well, I kind of need to start working on that too, to be fair, to just help you guys. That's what I want to do. We can all be awesome together, as I've been explaining when it comes to awesomeness. If the audio is fucked up for this entire thing, I'm really gonna crash out. Anyway, even crashing out is a thing like, if you achieve true awesomeness, you know what I mean? You won't really crash out anymore. I remember like, you know, I ran into some problems. Even yesterday, actually, I just had a homeless guy just follow me along and start talking to me whilst we were walking. He was being kind of creepy and weird. He had his hands in his pockets. He was like, and he just wouldn't really say anything. I was like, hey man, can I help you? Is everything okay? Do you need help? Do you need someone to talk to? It was a weird thing. I had my guard up, obviously. I don't want to get fucking slimed in the middle of London. But it's good to just, like, you know, what could I do in that situation? I just thought, like, okay, I'm awesome. So, I'm gonna reach out and try and be nice and helpful and respectful. And that's all I did. I kept my guard up, obviously. It's not like I gave him, like, a hug with my eyes closed, saying, like, you know, take my belongings, kill me. But, you know, he seemed troubled, and we're all human beings. He's a human being, I'm a human being. I just, you know, it was an experience. But that's probably not the best one to use. But in general, like, you know, if I fucking... My monster now, like, that I have on my desk was to spill down and fall on the floor and I'd have to clean it up. An awesome person, like you two, would say, oh, well, it's fine, you know. I can just get another monster, I can clean this up quickly, it's fine. Even if it fell on my fucking computer. It's not mine, it's the missus. But, you know, like, if it fell on it, I wouldn't crash out about it. I would just work around it and keep moving on. It's the same if someone stole my phone. It's like, you don't need to occupy your brain with all these small things that really don't matter at all when it comes to this whole spirituality thing we're talking about your soul, let's say, instead of spirituality. So if you look after your soul in this kind of way, where you manage to just see the good in other people's soul, see the good in your own soul, you unlock awesomeness. Okay, there's not too many steps to it. It's not too difficult. If I had to break it down, it's just be grateful, battle some of the sins. Like if you can get away from lust, if you can get away from envy, if you can get away from pride, if you can get away from gluttony, if you can get away from sloth, if you can, all these things do tie you down, tie down your soul in some kind of way. You might not believe this if you haven't really tried, but I have, and I know it's true for me. And I believe that should apply to every other human being because I'm one, you're one too. That's what this is. So I encourage you, be awesome from now on. Obviously it's not just a 1-day transformation. It's not just like within a week, within a month. You need to constantly keep working on how your brain works. I even remember, I'm just gonna yap about everything. It's fine. You can listen if you want to. I remember when I first started working in central London, because before I'd never really worked in central London. I had to commute, taking the basic lines that millions of people probably take every day. So I was running into a lot of people in nature, like outside in the city, in the tube station outside, tourists, locals, whatever. And they would walk and act in ways that baffled me. I'm like, this individual seems to have a severe lack of self-awareness. I was like getting pissed off and it was bothering me. But then I was like, what am I bothered about? I don't know these people. Who am I? Why is it so important to me that I, get to travel so swiftly? Like, if I waste a minute, is it the end of the world? Do I have to, punch these people? No. You just accept that they're going about their life in the pace that they're going about it. Maybe they're on holiday, maybe they had a long day. They're all kind of doing the same thing as you anyway. They're just commuting, And maybe sometimes I'm doing the same. Like, maybe, I think I'm being considerate all the time, but then maybe sometimes I've been annoying to some other people without realizing, and they wanted to fucking punch me in my face, You don't know that. And they don't know about the way you feel as well, unless you express it to them. But, if you go up to a stranger and tell them, hey man, you're kind of walking like shit and I feel like punching you, maybe it would be a cool conversation, who knows? But, you probably shouldn't do that. Depends. We all have freedom of will, but, violence depends. Depends. It's a whole nother topic as well. But basically, the way I keep breaking it down for you to understand is it's just these steps of awesomeness that we have to follow in our life, right? And I'm honestly truly grateful about every single thing that has happened to me in my life, good or bad. Hi Rex. I just don't know how else to explain it. Let me know if you guys are making sense of what the fuck I'm yapping about. I feel like it's making sense to me, at least. But if this is my first time taking, where can I see how long it's been? 13 minutes, 14 now. That's not too bad. I feel like I could talk about this for longer, but it's also not that complicated, I'd say. I know I say awesomeness is like a joke and how to be awesome. But honestly, if you make your life, your way of thinking, and your emotions, or all these kind of things, you simplify them, it's better. That's just how it is. And yeah, if you need any help with being awesome, I could maybe, add some more tips and whatnot if you have questions or there's something you don't understand. But feel free to. Well, could I do a subscribe button here? I need to learn how to edit as well. I'm very bad with editing. Cause anyway, I'll practice that as well. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. We're all awesome at the end of the day. Take care of yourselves. Take care of the people you love. Take care of strangers. And, even your enemies. You have no enemies. If I talk about Vinland Saga now, that would be a whole nother topic as well. I feel like Vinland Saga really helped me reach the stage I'm at now, where you just understand that you actually don't have any enemies. It's all circumstantial. Hate breeds more hate, and it's a very peaceful way of thinking. I might talk about Vinland Saga. Let me know in the comments, guys. Do you want me to talk about Vinland Saga and anime? Because I love anime. When I'm in the gym, I listen to anime characters, moments of being tough and awesome, or like Goku going Super Saiyan and things like that. Yeah. I don't have like an anime tattoo or anything, I just have like stupid ones. But yeah, I'll stop yapping now. Peace out.